Good morning. Hope everyone had a great weekend, and today's topic is objections. So I'm going to dive right in because I could honestly talk for an hour about objections. So I'm going to try to keep it less than 10 minutes. So objections. One thing going into objections is, or invites in general, is embracing failure. Going in not emotionally attached to the outcome, knowing that you are going to be getting no's, that you are going to be getting no responses, that you're going to be getting not right now, and you are going to be getting objections. So if we're prepared for that and we know that it's coming, it just makes it easier. So embrace failure and know that objections are coming, and let's talk more about what objections actually are. Everyone has objections. Common objections are money. I'm sure that's what people hear a lot. They just can't afford it. It's way too much. They're not going to spend that much. Time. I don't have the time. I don't want to put a lot of time into this. Their spouse might have an objection. He's not supportive. He can't get behind them. Those are some really common ones. So if you have other objections you want to discuss, please feel free to put them in the group and underneath this post, and we can talk about them more. Let's talk about things that objections are. Objections are uncertainty of information. They don't have all the information and they have questions still. So it is important that when we get objections that we are trying to find out what they are, what's holding them back, what questions do they have, and answer those questions for them because they just don't have enough information. Like I said, they don't have enough information to make the decision. So something's missing. You did not fill in all the pieces of the puzzle, because honestly, if money is an objection, then we really haven't shown the value in what we're doing. So something is missing in what we're providing them. Do we need to send them a video about what a challenge group is? Do we need to make a video on why Shakeology is the missing piece and the link and why we think it's going to help them? Do we need to share more about our story? Do we need to share more about other people's stories? What is it that's missing that we need to give them more information to make the right decision, which we think is to join us in a challenge group. Objections are a lack of trust. So if it is someone that you are just starting to talk to and don't know really well, you haven't formed them completely, which is fine. I'm not looking for you to form someone to death before you send the invite. But if they don't know you or there's a lack of trust, there's not necessarily in you, but maybe in the process. They've done Weight Watchers, they've done Jenny Craig, they've taken pills, taken shots, nothing's worked, so why is this going to work? There's just kind of a lack of trust in the process. And as you continue to invite these people, and this is the importance of inviting them month after month, that trust is going to be built up because they know that you're not going anywhere. And if you're sharing your story on Facebook and your journey with people, and they see, oh, she lost 5 pounds this month, or she lost, look at her definition. Maybe you don't have any weight to lose, but look at your transformation of 21 days of 21-day fix. Like, I've seen some amazing ones of girls that are just getting ripped and cut, and their nutrition is better in line. They feel great. Whatever it is, I'm on a Whole30 right now. I share that. I share the struggles. I share how I feel good, how I could wear a dress for Easter that I couldn't wear last year. Those are the things that I'm sharing, and that builds trust. The biggest point I like to make about objections is that objections are just a speed bump. So write this down. It's a speed bump. That's it, guys. So ask yourself this. When you're in the parking lot of a shopping mall or a neighborhood where you need to slow down and you come to a speed bump, what do? Please tell me you don't stop the car, get out, and say, that's it, kids. We're here. I can't go any farther. There's this small bump in the road in front of us, and we're done. We're just going to have to walk the rest of the way. No, you just slow down. You just slow down and go over the bump. And if you can get in your mind that this objection is just a bump that we need to get over and to keep on going, you're going to be so much more successful. Because honestly, people do get to objections and they stop. And they say, okay, I understand, okie dokie, have a great day. They stop. That's stopping. That's stopping the conversation. That is not slowing down and overcoming the objection. So please, please, if anything else out of this video, remember, it is just a speed bump. We just need to slow down and get over it. We don't need to stop by saying okay or I understand. Okay, so let's talk about some things that objections are not. They are not the final answer. Just because someone says it's too much money, that is not the final answer, unless you say okay and the conversation it is. It's not. They, like I said, they have a lack of trust. They need more questions answered. They don't have all the information to make a decision. It's a no is just a not right now. We talk about that a lot. It's just something that we have to keep inviting, keep pushing through, keep answering their questions, keep overcoming their objections. Objections are not insurmountable. There's no objection that we, I won't say no, but 99 out of 100 objections we can usually overcome. I can't overcome the fact if they're allergic to something in Shakeology. That's just part of it, and I can still help them with a program. So I'm not done with them just because they can't buy a challenge pack or they can't buy Shakeology. That might be something that's more of a challenge, obviously. And they're not a reason to get nervous because, like I said in the beginning, they're coming. I don't want you to be emotionally attached to the outcome, and I want you to embrace failure. It's just part of it. I get told no all the time. I get questions all the time. It's conversations. There's never a time where I'm like, you want to do this challenge? And yes, sign me up. And no discussion about it, no discussion about what it entails and what the price is and overcoming those questions that they have. So it's not a reason to get nervous. It's just part of the process. So my last point I want to make is objections are either going to be provoked, prevented, or accepted. Okay? So how do we provoke objections? One way that you are provoking objections, which I think we've kind of worked on this in our invites already, is your product vomiting. You're vomiting Beachbody all over them. You're giving them much information too soon. So even if it's in your response, you don't want to give all that information. I think you've seen that our responses are very quick and simple, and our invites are quick or simple because I'm trying to have a conversation. I'm trying to ask questions and get them talking so that I can fill their needs the best. But the second that I go into all the details of a challenge group, them logging their food, all these meal plans, all these little containers they're going to have to figure out if they get 21-day fix, all the ingredients in Shakeology and how rose hips and maca are just going to make them feel fabulous. I'm provoking so many objections that they're just going to come flying at me, because it's going to be overwhelming. It's going to sound like a lot of time. It's going to sound like a lot of money if I throw the cost out there without adding value to it. If I tell someone, yeah, do this T25 challenge pack, it's only $205. Whoa, I'm not spending $200, there's no value wrapped in it. So that's an easy way to provoke objections, is to give too much information too soon and not be asking questions to fill their needs. Okay, they can be prevented, and that's by showing the value in what we do and really making those videos about what a challenge group is, making videos about your story, sharing videos about why Shakeology is so important to the process, just really sharing more about you to build that trust. Those are going to prevent objections. Sharing on social media, when someone's already seen your results, your story, your challengers' results, they see that you're an overall positive person and someone they want to spend time with, they like your energy, right away you're adding value to them, and that's going to help prevent objections. And then the last thing you can do with objections is accept them. And that's what I'm really asking you guys not to do. I don't want you to accept objections. I don't want you to say, okie dokie, or that sounds good, or I understand. I don't want you to say that. When someone says to me that they cannot afford Shakeology, I don't say, okay. This is what I say. This is my most common way to overcome objections, and we can talk more about overcoming objections, and I want to hear your objections and ideas on how to respond to them. But my most common way to respond to most any objection is called the feel, felt, found method. So I would write this down. Feel, felt, found. I really can't do it right now. It's just too expensive. You can accept the objection and say, okay, and that conversation is dead, it's ended, it's over. Or you can overcome the objection and leave it open so that you can invite them in a couple more weeks, in a couple more months, whatever it is, they stay on your list because you're going to use the feel, felt, found method. I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way when I first bought a challenge pack. Like, I thought, I'm not spending $150 on this Brazilian butt lift and Shakeology. Surely I can do this myself. But what I found was a month and a half, 6 weeks went by. I had actually gained weight, not even maintained it in those 6 weeks. And I realized I couldn't do it alone. It wasn't necessarily that I needed Brazilian butt lift or I needed Shakeology, but for me, I needed the support. I needed the accountability. And I found by having a program, by having Shakeology, and by having a coach on my side every single day in an accountability group, that I saw results. See what I did? I feel, felt, found. It's not always going to be your story. You're going to find other people's story. You know, you're dealing with someone that has diabetes. I know how you feel. I have a friend that felt the same way. They found this. You're going to use other people's stories, but this is so gold for any conversation. You can use it with time. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. I felt the same way working out. I'm sorry. I know how you feel. I felt the same way starting out. Like, I don't have time for this. I don't want to have to log in a group. I don't want to do this. I don't have extra 30 minutes. But what I found was when I started working out, I had so much more energy. I was so much more excited. I wanted to be in these groups. It was new and different, but I found that I had more hours in the day and more time to spend when I started taking care of myself. So that's something that I want you to do when it comes to, instead of accepting an objection, I want you to actually overcome it. So I'm going to wrap it up because I don't want you to be on here for 30 minutes. I certainly have videos I can share that are longer and we can talk about this more, but we just want to start seeing your objections, seeing how you're overcoming them, asking for ideas, and knowing that you're overcoming them doesn't mean they're going to say yes. It just means that it leaves a conversation open to add them to your list for the next month, to be talking through them throughout the month, to be supportive, to be there for them because you know their needs, you know what they're looking for, and you're going to start to earn that trust and continue to answer their questions to help them make the best decision for them. So you guys have a great day. I hope if you're using my system, you've probably gotten all your invites out by now. I just want to say I use my system. I've used it for a couple years almost now, and I have all my points. So it's a good feeling. So now that I can turn to my team and help them get their points. So just keep sending those invites, keep adding them to your list, and keep forming new relationships. All right, guys, have a great day.